Welcome to the Stats on Stats Pod. Yeah.
We are.
Okay, cool. Hey, Rudy, how's it going?
Hey y'all, I'm doing well. How are you?
It's a vibe for sure. Yeah. So where you at right now? That looks nice.
I'm at I'm at home in Bedford-Stuyvesant, Brooklyn,
Okay.
New York.
Okay, right on. That's like really cool. Brooklyn. I've never been to Brooklyn. You been to Brooklyn?
He was talking, so I'm gonna wait.
Oh, sorry.
Oh no, I was gonna ask y'all are based in. I remember y'all based in Florida, but I forget which part exactly.
We're in Tampa.
Yep.
I haven't made it to Florida yet.
Wait, like Florida period?
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
Never been.
Interesting. Interesting. Well, come on by. Not to Tampa though. It's boring here. Probably like Miami or something. I don't know. Anyways, so do you know what's about to happen before we hit the hard-hitting questions?
I heard there's something about R&B, but I don't know if is that what's happening or is it something else?
Yes, the rumors are true. We're going to be playing That's My Jam 90s R&B edition.
Sound effects.
Is the song getting shorter? I feel like it's getting shorter, which is good.
I'm just lowering the volume earlier.
I love that for us. I love that for us. Okay, here are the rules. We're going to play 4 covers of 90s R&B songs. You have until the end of the song to guess either the name of the artist or the name of the song. You get 2 to 3 guesses. We can't remember what the original rules were. So, yeah. How's your 90s R&B knowledge?
Terrible.
Okay. All right. Well, feel free to use any resources you have.
Oh yeah, I can chat GPT it. I can Shazam it.
I mean, just don't tell us you did it. But yeah, by all means. It's between you and, whatever deity you worship. All right, song number 1.
When I first met you, you were cool, but it was game, you had me fooled. 'Cause 20 minutes after I gave you my number, you already had my mailbox full. And so what? You bought a pair of shoes. What now? I guess you think I owe you. You don't have to call as much as you do. I'd give 'em back to be through with you. And so what? My mama liked you. What now? I guess you think I will too. Even if the Pope said he liked you too. I don't really care 'cause you a bugaboo.
Are those the lyrics?
I assume so.
Wait, did she say even if the Pope I did not. Ooh.
That's strong. Damn. I'm researching.
I did not know that.
That's a very specific. It's a very specific lyric. I don't know. Am I able to just give up? Is it? Wait. I mean, the internet tells me it's Destiny's Child. Is that true?
Yes, it's Destiny's Child, Bugaboo.
Wow.
All right. Strong start.
Oh,
So
man.
Pope liked you too.
Awesome. All right, song number 2.
I am here for you.
Nope.
Love is meant for two.
I don't know.
Now tell me what you're gonna do.
You'll remember.
I don't know it.
If I gave you diamonds
And it clicks.
Yes.
would you be a happy boy or a girl? If I could, I would give you the world. But all I can do is just offer you my love.
Damn. I feel like those far less specific lyrics. I don't know. I'm gonna have to pass. Who is
Okay.
it?
Who is it?
That is Prince, Diamonds and Pearls.
Prince. I always feel like I should listen to more Prince, but I haven't made the jump yet.
I
I listen
mean,
to Future, which doesn't count.
that has nothing to do with anything.
Anything.
Yes, you should listen to Prince, though, for sure. And apparently Destiny's Child. But all right, song number 3.
Met this girl walking in the ghetto.
You told me these were easy.
No, this is.
Looking good, but looking down.
Just because you don't know them, though.
Said she needed inspiration. I said, get your shit, cause we're going uptown. I could tell she was feeling better when she got inside the car. She was a dark-skinned girl with pretty cornrows. She was doing her best to try to hide her scars. I don't really care about that there. Just get involved. Boy, you making me feel oh so real involved.
You got it?
Raphael Sadiq.
Is it? Is it?
Anthony has the answer.
You don't have the answer?
It's called Get Involved, but
It is.
I don't know
It
if
is
it's-
Raphael, isn't it?
That's what the
Crickets for
internet-
all of us.
That's
Yes.
what the internet says.
Okay. Yes. Give it to him
We'll give it
because
to you. We'll give it
I'm
to you.
going to be honest. I didn't know that one either.
It
so
does say.
It does? Okay. Song number 4, last one.
Sometimes it's soft as a misty rain.
I know this one.
That gently touches my soul. It cools the fire that burns in me, and I simply lose control.
Let it play.
So just rain down on me. Let your love just fall like rain. Just rain on me. Just rain.
You got it?
down
Yeah.
on me.
You got this one.
Let your love just shower me. Just rain on me.
We should make a Guyana EP.
Just saying, because Kiana be killing it.
Jeez.
Should have her on the show.
I'm telling you.
Do a live one.
Girl, why you sing like that? All right. So what is it?
SWV.
Yes. Yes. All right. So how many you
That's
get? 3
actually
out of
one
4?
that I heard before.
You have?
Yeah.
All right. That's good. Was that 4 out of 4?
3 out of 4.
3 out of 4?
Yeah.
Wow. You.
Oh, because none of us knew that.
Yeah. Yeah. You did better than 95% of the people that come on the show.
And
so
us.
And us.
Well, I
And we
cheated,
got-
so.
Awesome.
Well, we had the answers.
We did have the answers. All right. Anyways, let's go ahead and jump into the reason people actually come here. If it's your first time, welcome. If you already know the vibes, welcome back. I'm Jordan, a.k.a. Jay, a.k.a. The Chosen One, a.k.a. Big Stepper, and I am here with my co-host.
I am Tiffany B. We are so excited that you decided to join us for an episode where we get to talk to leaders in the cyber IT technology spaces. Speaking of one of those leaders, we have someone here with us today. He is going to tell you who he is, what he does, how long he's been in the space, and what he does right now. You can take it away.
Take it away. So I'm Rudy. I'm the founder of Blacksky Algorithms. I'm a fellow at the Applied Social Media Lab at the Berkman Klein Center at Harvard University. And yeah, I'm very, very honored to be on the podcast to talk a little bit about my work and about the trajectory. Should I just jump in, or is there a specific spot y'all want to get started at?
I actually have a question. So where did the nickname @ProtocolProblemChild come from?
Did the research. That came from, that's kind of the role, I feel like. Well, one, it's a 50 Cent, I think it's like a 50 Cent lyric where he calls himself the problem child. And I feel like that's always been my role. I feel like I call it good trouble, you know? And there's a lot of folks who are generally, non-confrontational. I am not that. I love to, whatever the problem is, I want to get right after it. And so with App Protocol, like with a lot of spaces in tech, for folks that don't know, App Protocol is the underlying protocol beneath BlueSky. and it's the thing that makes it decentralized. It allows people to actually own parts of the social media infrastructure. And so with me calling myself the app protocol problem child, I'm saying I'm like the problem child not just for BlueSky but for the whole ecosystem when people want to duck and avoid things, because folks like to pretend that tech is neutral, but then you find out in like even the early days of BlueSky, there was a largely, the demographics of the app was, lots of white folks. And so I wasn't afraid to, come in there and be like, well, based on looking at the protocol and analyzing all the data, I can see that a lot of y'all block all the black people that are on this app. And so like, why is that? And so that's kind of where it started from. I made a list of people who were blocking the most black people, and caused quite a stir. That was probably my first time becoming the like main character on an app. So yeah, and so I was just like, you know what, so be it. It's the Scarface reference is like, you need bad guys like me. That was kind of
Hey,
Okay.
Wait, I didn't see none of that in the mentions and CNN and Wired and.
everyone likes to keep that very low key that happened. It's
Okay.
we've moved on collectively. People said sorry.
All right, fair
We
enough.
healed.
Okay, well, before all of the tech, the titles, and the headlines, who is Rudy Fraser? What drew you into technology initially, and then what really made it stick?
Yeah, I think I credit my neighborhood with a lot of things, and so I live in Brooklyn, but I grew up most of my life in Queens, and I didn't like I didn't like school that much. My first day of school, I was like never studious. The like prototypical nerd is like not what I was. I didn't like my mom asked me like if I wanted to go to school on the first day of first grade, and I said no, and she just like let me stay home. And like I was truant a lot in school, and so I liked hanging out in the neighborhood, and in hanging out with the neighborhood, I hung out with the older guys in the neighborhood, and we used to play chess a lot. And because some of the older guys taught me how to play chess, and I was beating them, and that was how I kind of like made a little bit of bread because we would bet money on it, and that was good for me. And then one of them was just like, hey, like everyone always saw that I was, or based on what they said and folks around me, people believed in me as like being smart and being clever, even though I wasn't. The school wasn't telling me that because I was doing, I was missing school, so I wasn't getting great grades. And there's there are certain like folks in like the family or whatnot who are like, well, you're like ruining your possibilities for the future. But the neighborhood believed in me, and I feel like, so one of the guys they had one of their friends donated a computer to me, so we went and got it, wheeled it back to my crib, set it up. It was like an old compact desktop, and I think earlier in life, like my mom had a computer in the crib, but we went through a lot and we ended up losing it. So that was me getting back a computer and then being like, like this is a thing that I want to like play around with. And it was just like fun. It was always rooted in fun. I always talk about the part of like me, like growing up playing video games and like getting into hacking that way. But in between that, it was really just like, I just like to play. I still like to play. I like to, I think I just have like a mischievous personality. My mom used to call me, my nickname as a kid was Cussbird because like in the village in Guyana, I would just run around like screaming F you to everybody. And so I keep that spirit to this day. I'm just the antagonist. And so like hacker, causing trouble, like messing with systems, doing, finding out, being a bit of a smartass, finding out things that like people, I was always very curious, I guess. I wanted to know what other people didn't know. And then I wanted to do things that like, like school, I felt like school was too structured. And it was like, if you didn't fit into that, whatever that structure was, it just wasn't for you. So I liked learning other ways.
Yeah, compulsory education is a total drag. I think it only exists, because parents need somebody to babysit. right? Like, I don't know.
Yeah.
That's first. I don't know. I read a whole book about it, have my opinions. Anyways, before we get too off track.
You mentioned that people were telling you at the time, you're ruining, maybe your future or your possibilities. But you had some positive support behind you, people who like could see the potential in you. So what did that, what did that positive energy teach you about power, access, and the possibilities that could be ahead of you?
Power and access, well, I think we were taught that we didn't have power, right? It was like we're like poor, black. It's like, this is like, we don't see, it's, I think it's pretty common now. Folks talk about like entertainment and sports is really like your way. And like, I can't lay up at all. And I wasn't good at sports. You know what I mean?
And he lives in Brooklyn. Oh my God.
And it was like I would dress the part too, have the baggy shorts, be like, yo, he can dunk, he could ball, and it's like hate to disappoint. But yeah, so I was like, well, those ain't my ways. And yeah, so it really felt like there wasn't gonna be access. And plus also the Caribbean, like my mom, she was like, she wanted me to be like doctor, lawyer, or accountant. It was like the kind of like professions. Like there was like professional services that I guess probably have stayed true over time as like being like in like good income earners for folks. And yeah, I think none of that interested me. And I just kind of wanted to, I had what society, I guess, would consider bad influences, but for me, they were the coolest people in the world. And so I guess for me, I was like, I don't think the normal way is gonna, like, I didn't imagine like, the normal career path for me, especially based on and then I think the messed up thing is like when people like reinforce that at a young age, it's kind of like, well, damn, so you don't even think I'm like redeemable? Like, you don't think I can like get it right? That was like weighing on me. And then it got to a point where I think it put a chip on my shoulder where I was like, like regardless of what people say, I'm gonna like prove you wrong. I think that started getting built up a little bit because it's like, well, part of me even cutting school is like I just felt like I was like smarter than my teachers in some ways, just kind of like arrogant. You know what I mean? Like, look, as a young person growing up in the environments I grew up in, you kind of like, I don't know, I feel like it either brings you down or you like you have a bit of an overinflated ego in some ways. And I had a little bit of that, but I was so yeah, it just kind of like fed into that. I was like, I'm gonna, even though I know these walls exist, I'm gonna like find my ways through them. Yeah. And then I think later on I found out like when I told people probably like this is I'm talking around like 14, 15, 16, but like by 20 when I was like really entering into the tech industry, like even then folks were telling me like you should get a job as like a bus driver. You should like, get a nice city job that's like stable. Like by now, so it's funny, like I think when I was interested in technology, tech folks weren't even the folks who were making all the money. Like at least in the social conscious, like tech folks were still like nerds and like doing weird stuff. You know what I mean? Like no, there weren't the billionaires, like they had Bill Gates, but that was like the one example. And now like all the like richest people in the world are technologists. So that seeing that dynamic change has been pretty funny because now it's like, oh, you're in tech, like you're smart and you make a lot of money. Like that's where it is now. But it wasn't like that then. And it was like, why would those people like even let you in? Was kind of the ethos. Like you should just get a city job or something. They're gonna hire you. The white folks not gonna let you get into those positions and get in a position to make money. That was what people was telling me.
Yeah, that's facts though. I feel like we all had the same childhood or something. But something that's been weighing really heavy on me, and I have to say it respectfully, you said I wasn't a nerd, and also I cut class to play chess. and I can't hoop,
Yeah.
and I had a computer. You were a nerd, my guy. I need you acceptance. You were a nerd.
No, yeah, I was like, but I wasn't the. When people think of a nerd, I feel like they think of like Zuckerberg and nerds with resources. I was like, not a nerd with resources.
You
But yeah,
recognize,
I was.
wasn't Zuckerberg wearing that exact same outfit like 3 months ago?
Well, Zuckerberg tries to be black now. Like that's his whole thing. You know what I mean? Like, so even that, it's like messing up the vibes. I don't know. He's trying to do MMA. He's trying to make himself cooler. But yeah, I was definitely like I was reading textbooks when I wasn't in school. Like I was teaching myself was my whole thing. Like my whole thing has always been self-sufficiency. I was asking the older guys in my neighborhood questions just about life. I wanted to learn. That's for sure. That's what everyone always saw in me. Word.
Okay, so you're like an autodidact. Is that what that's called? Where you like are a
Yeah.
self-learner?
Yeah.
Okay.
I read like a book a week. Like that's my way of making sense of the world. I'm like the world is so chaotic, and it's just like I'm just trying to like how did we get here? Is always my vibe.
Let me know how we did one day.
That's a great question, though, for you. Like, okay, tell us about your early roles and how you got to where you are in this moment in tech.
Yeah. So my first job was I remember. So I was in City Tech. I was studying computer information systems. I ended up not finishing because once again I was cutting school. But the difference is when you're cutting school in college, then you just don't get your degree, and you gotta still pay them. You still gotta pay them folks, and they're far less lenient about missing school. And so I was missing school, and I was getting up to but it was for better reasons this time. Now it was to like get money, and I just had like stuff going on that I had to take care of, and so I ended up not graduating, and that bummed me out a lot. And because the whole plan was like, okay, boom, get the degree, then I'm gonna start applying to places, find a job. But now I'm still like, again, chip on my shoulder. I was going back and forth with like the dean of the school, trying to explain to him my situation. He wasn't having it. And so, yeah, so then I was like, well, I still got this plan that I'm still trying to execute against to get my foot in the door. And I remember I interviewed with 2 places. One of those places was like an intro to like, I was good at Python. And school didn't teach Python, but I was, again, autodidact. I was learning it on the side using Code Academy. And one was like an intro to like an entry level junior software dev, Python dev role. I interviewed for that, but didn't get it. And then the other role was this like sales account executive. And this was this company called Crossover, or sales coordinator. I forgot what the exact title was. Really, it was just picking up the phone and respond to emails and entering in checks into the system. But those folks, Crossover is so funny. So it was a sports tech company based in like Midtown area of New York, Manhattan. And they sell software to high school and college basketball and volleyball coaches. So again, irony, like being at a company where like all the sales folks used to play like college level sports, and everyone like the customers are coaches, and every like the you know what I'm saying, like the CEO is always at every like basketball game, and I'm like, I don't even like sports. I don't even like sports. I just needed a gig. But those folks are to this day, like everyone who is there is like some of my great friends. They're at my wedding. The person who hired me, Sabrina Labossiere, is a black woman. She lives in Florida, actually. I forget whereabouts, but she was up here at the time. Best person at my wedding, and so we became really close friends. She knows where all the skeletons are, and but I remember they told me the story later. They were at a bar. They were at this bar downstairs. It was Barcade. It's a combination bar and arcade. And they were going, because that was part of the culture. It was very drinking. It was like Fridays, I forgot what they called them, but Fridays was like a half day, and everyone would go down to the bar for lunch. But so they were I think it was like one of those days they're at the bar going over resumes, and from what I'm told, Sabrina like leans over to this dude Sean Mack, and she's like, "Hey, I think this guy's kind of smart. We should interview him." And my resume is so funny. At the time, I was a tutor. I was an English tutor. That was my like work study kind of gig. And then I got hired part time, and so I was like a library assistant again with the nerd stuff. And on my resume, I really just had like I had like my that and like my get rich quick schemes because I didn't have any job experience. So it was like sold 50 bitcoins and like created like this like it's also like I mean I created like a botnet and I just like put that as like the thing like as I was like, you know what, I'm gonna just tell you what I'm really getting up to because it's like because this is how I'm spending my time and how I'm trying to use these technology skills. And they just saw that and it was like, hey, I think he might know some. But it wasn't a technical job. It was literally like what I said, but it was with the promise that I could, if I did that job well, I could rise through the ranks, and then I just automated that job. So that was kind of the early days. And then they created a new job for me that was like basically since then I basically went through this like IT automations, IT architect kind of role and path.
You're the reason AI exists now. Is what you're what?
I'm not the reason AI. If people were doing AI research back in like the 90s and 80s, really, like I think it kind of predates the internet a little bit almost. AI is such a funny thing because I've been in the tech industry for like 10 years, so I've seen the multiple waves of technology. And so I've seen like when I was there for like, well, mobile was before my time because I was like Facebook and them, but like the cloud, like the move to the cloud computing, the dawn of like AWS, because like the company I worked for was called Better Cloud. And so they were it was an IT automations company. That was the last place I was at. And they're basically the software that when everyone gets laid off at a company and all the laptops get shut down, that's either Better Cloud or a competitor.
Damn.
So, like they do the IT automation. And then I was a Salesforce architect at the company. And Salesforce, even that's kind of like they were like the first cloud company. And that's why like the cloud is their logo. So I was really a part of that wave of companies. And then personally, I was like in the crypto wave, and then seeing like, you just see the very instant, like the cloud computing wave, like in New York, like all those companies were just customers of each other. Like it was like, I don't know, the whole kind of premise of capitalism to like solve problems and like innovate. But really it's just like, so-and-so invested 10 million in this company and invested 10 million in this company. And then that company is customers of each other. And then now it's worth more. And now that other person, the person who invested, makes more money. And so I was like, oh, these are kind of like just complicated pyramid schemes to me. But but yeah, that was the cloud computing wave. You saw crypto, obviously much more visibly a pyramid scheme for a lot of those products. And then AI and stuff like, yeah, like even the concept of intelligence when it's just whatchamacallit, like predicting the next word is a lot. I'm very cynical about technology.
Yeah, no kidding. I'm like, this man is over here like eggs are a pyramid scheme. Juice is a scheme. I'm just like, okay. That's how you know somebody has that hustle mindset though, for sure. Like you're always thinking and all that.
Yeah, well, what were some, okay, you've seen these waves, right? Mm-hmm. Whether you were in on them or not, you saw how they moved during your time in tech. What did you learn from those experiences and being able to have that firsthand knowledge that you would want to pass on to other people that are looking to get into tech or understand, how to make a transition into tech?
Yeah, and so like as a employee, I think knowing all that is very important because that was my benefit. Is like the way folks worded it to me was that I was good at technology and business, and like business is like pretty straightforward. You just kind of have to know you have to know the levers that drive the business, and so like if you know that all these companies are customers of each other, then those are your customers. You don't have to like figure out your like. There's a lot in business that goes into like or in like larger companies that goes into like what is your ideal customer. Even at the early stages, like investors ask you the same thing, like who is your ideal customer? How many of them are there? How many of them can you like? What is in the perfect world if you close 100% of your deals? Like what would that look like? That's your market. And then assuming you can only get like 5 to 10% of your deals because you're going to lose the other, either you're going to, either there's some qualification, you're not going to meet with the other ones, or you're not going to, whatchamacallit, you'll just lose deals because of competitors. And, and so once you understand a lot of those like value drivers, then you also know how it's important to know how your work relates to that. Like how what you do in a business drives the money. Because ultimately, like the business is about making money. Like if you're not a nonprofit, like the whole goal is to like make a profit. And anyone who's not like, and then it becomes really easy to see why someone would get laid off. It's like if they feel like you are not helping make a profit, then And then on the flip side, if you know if you can tie your work to values and to like the value of a business, then you can always ask for more money. And then also if like it becomes what I think is a slightly problematic that I'm good at operating in organizations that function this way, but I don't know that it's like the perfect way for an organization to function, because I think it ends up becoming what ends up happening is you get competitive. The business overall needs to keep growing, because if it doesn't, then what you do find is that there's infighting. And so it's like departments start fighting for resources. That stuff gets a little tricky. So you also want to like be a little, it's not always easy, but you be a little discerning about the companies that you work for. But it all goes into it, like discerning about the company you're working for, knowing what industry they're in and what their business is, how they plan to grow in the future, and then seeing where you fit in as a part of that and in helping them grow. And it's about turning a profit. So you could either be bringing in money or you could be reducing costs. And if for some reason you are not doing either of those, then you're probably in a tough spot. Like in IT, we can reduce cost. Like IT is often like a cost center. We're buying laptops, we're buying software. Then you have the headcount to manage that software. And so what we tried to do in like my department was just like always tie it to the fact that we're helping you save money. This manager bought, people love product management tools. Someone likes Monday, so they buy Monday. Someone likes Linear. The engineering people use Jira. You got some random person who just like they were able to like log in with OAuth to Google to like some other app, and now they're paying that with some credit card. And what you can do as like an IT person is just be like, well, this is just like a reality of business operations, but we can help you save money by like identifying that and then consolidating things. And it's like reaching out to people. It's like, you like Monday.com. What is it about Monday.com that you like that you're not seeing in Jira? Okay, we'll update Jira to like work like Monday.com. Now we can save $10,000 or something.
That's true though. I feel like we have that conversation all the time where they were talking about like, broad tech or cybersecurity and stuff, just like understanding how the business is, because it makes you a better defender, right? Gives you more insight into what you're defending, how you're supposed to defend it, things like that. So I like that a lot. Okay, I have a question, and this is a big question. What is Blacksky? What is Blacksky? Like what that is?
Yeah. Blacksky is well, there's two things. So there's Blacksky the community and Blacksky the company. So Blacksky the community is a Black community on the BlueSky app that is pretty much independent from the rest of the BlueSky app. It's our own. We've designed our own social media algorithms that promote Black content without and customize it to exclude anything that is anti-Black or misogynoir and like generally harmful. And then also doing content moderation. So members of the community also do content moderation for the community. So there may be content that is outside of the Blacksky feed, but is just on the BlueSky app. And if you're scrolling other feeds, you may encounter, and our folks are doing content moderation against that. And so to understand that, though, I think you need to understand a little bit about BlueSky. And so BlueSky, you can envision BlueSky as like a social media app where each part of it is ran by a different company. So the app you downloaded from the iOS or Android store, that's one company. When you log in, the location of your data and your password and account is stored by another company. And then once you're logged in, the feed that you land on that you may be scrolling, right, that's designed by another company. You can switch feeds, and each feed could be designed by a different company. And then you can, when you encounter something you don't like or is harmful, let's say you encounter racism, you could then choose which moderator you want to report to, and that's a different company. And so with Blacksky, we run, so Blacksky Algorithms, the company, is the company that launched the community of the Blacksky community and designs open source software that facilitates that moderation, the algorithm, the underlying infrastructure for storing data. Yeah.
Yeah, right on. So BlueSky, I've seen BlueSky before. I mean, I've logged in a couple times. So what is kind of the difference? It looks it looks like Twitter, right? Aesthetically. So what's kind of the difference between something like Twitter or X and BlueSky?
Yeah, so it's the difference between a centralized service and a decentralized one. So if you don't like how Elon's running things, if you don't like that Grok is spewing anti-Semitism, but you're on Twitter, your only choice is to like leave Twitter. And that means all the followers and connections that you built up over time, those, you lose those too, right? And that's the experience that folks have gotten used to over the last, let's say, 10 to 15 years of social media, maybe longer now, maybe like 20 years of social media, where you sign up for an account in one place and that's just where the data is, and you don't really own the data, right? You don't own your account even. You don't own those connections that you've made. And so you always have to, if you want to leave, you always have to start over. So now you have fractured ecosystems. You have some people, you maybe got your professional network on LinkedIn, and then you got your maybe your close friends on Instagram, family and childhood connections on Facebook. Maybe you don't have anyone on TikTok, but you just follow stuff that you're more of a lurker on TikTok and you just like the stuff that you like over there. And then you have your Twitter connections. Maybe you're a part of Black Twitter, etc. But all those are disconnected. The cool thing about App Protocol is it acts as like one unified identity. And it doesn't have to be that way. You can set up other accounts if you want to, but like it re-envisions social media where you are just like, I'm just Rudy, and I'm Rudy everywhere, right? I'm Rudy in a photo sharing app. I'm Rudy in a microblogging app. I'm Rudy on a professional job board. And you can use that identity across any of those different apps. So BlueSky is not the only one on App Protocol. There's also Skylight, which is a TikTok alternative. There is, what are the other ones? There's Flashes, which is an Instagram alternative. And so folks have started to build out that ecosystem more, but BlueSky was the first one, and it looks a lot like Twitter. And now I think the concepts, we actually like that it looks like Twitter. And so for the Blacksky app that we're launching, it's a fork of the BlueSky app, so it will also look like Twitter to start with, but with like our own branding and some of our own settings and customizations. But it's helpful because there's all this, people aren't used to decentralized social media. And so you don't want to confuse them with the design language of your app, because so much of technology is understood through user interfaces, right? Like I can explain, we have our own algorithm, we have our own moderation service, and then people are like, what? Like, what do you mean? Like, I'm just used to, like, is that like a community? Is like on Twitter? Is that like a Reddit, a subreddit? But it's really just like new paradigm. So I think the interface being familiar lets people like not have to think about that. But then you think about, okay, feeds, how do feeds work? How does this, that, and the third work? But yeah, so that's kind of how BlueSky works.
Right on. I actually have one more question within this, if that's okay. Hold on. I got to reference my notes for this one, though, because I want to make sure I asked the question correctly. It was based on something I read. Click. Okay. So, in this one article that I don't remember the title of at all, but it basically talks about how, there's this issue where in the United States at this point in time, it almost seems like Black history it's trying to be erased, right? They kind of want it to evaporate, right? Because there's this whole, we are one. Why does that? Okay, cool. So I think in this article, and I just want to understand, it says Blacksky can be viewed as a living archive. Would you mind elaborating on that a little bit? Are you speaking into? Yeah. I thought that was really cool, but I was also like, does that mean what I think it means?
Well, it's like a literal archive because the way custom feeds on BlueSky work is you have to actually store the posts and then your algorithm, you design it in terms of how you want to serve up the post. So the Blacksky database is over 200 gigabytes now of posts from the last 2 years, 17 million posts, millions of likes from all the Black users on the protocol. And that's the like literal way of it being an archive. It's literally just it's archived all the posts from Black users. And then also the way the code works is that that archive could be recreated by another person in theory if they wanted to, because our code is open source. So if you wanted to run your own version of Blacksky, maybe even want to run a slightly modified version of it or whatever the case may be, have your own moderation decisions as a part of it. Maybe, we remove, Black folks, they have sub communities. And, one thing, for example, like I may remove like all wrestling posts, like there's a lot of Black folks who like love wrestling. I was never that kind of person. And
You don't like sports.
I mean, it's the sport.
Right. You don't do sports.
We know.
is, we're considering wrestling a sport like WWE?
Yes. It's a sport.
All right. Well, so there you go. So I removed that, but maybe someone's like, yeah, like they go sports, and so all sports, no matter what kind of sport it is, and so you can easily do that, and then there'd be ways for you to reconstruct the Blacksky archive, either the exact same kind or slightly modified. You won't have our moderation decision, so maybe the archive will be larger because we've removed lots of different things based on our policies, but it's a living archive stored in our databases.
Right on.
Okay. While we're talking about Blacksky and what it is, we would love to know if you could do a demo and show us like what you're hoping to build as an experience for people who haven't seen Blacksky at all.
Yeah, I could go ahead and run through that as a demo. All right, so this is Blacksky. This is on my local computer because I'm still actively developing the app. But you can see here a couple of things happening. So if you've never seen BlueSky, I'll actually just pull up BlueSky so you can kind of see that too. So this is for example, BlueSky. And you can see the BlueSky logo at the top. You can see following and then feeds. This is on an alt account that I have. But it looks like a microblogging site. And so what we did with Blacksky though or what we're going to do with the Blacksky app is that this is, these things at the top are all custom feeds. So these are all algorithms we've designed. So there's different versions. There's Blacksky, which is a reverse chronological feed. I'm always like hesitant to pull stuff up because it can get quite raunchy in the feed sometimes. But this is pretty safe and pretty cool. So this is like a reverse chronological feed. So it's all the members of the Blacksky community and then their posts just in reverse chronological order. And then we have one for Blacksky trending, which is the trending posts from the network. And so this one is, for example, just going off of likes. And then with the Blacksky community itself, folks, and there's different versions of this. We have like a Black Academics, which is just the academics in Blacksky and their posts. We have like a Blacksky videos format. which is only video posts. There's also similarly with images, etc. And anyone can create custom feeds on BlueSky, but we've just bundled them. We've created a few that have gotten really popular. Over 2 million folks have used our feeds. And we also run a content moderation service. So let's say you came here and you wanted to report this post for whatever reason. You could click here and click report post, and then you'd select your reason. And so, for example, you could say this is like antisocial behavior or whatever, and you can choose Blacksky as your moderation service, and then you could report this to us, and then we would review that content and decide whether we wanted to label it or not, based on our moderation policies. And if an account was labeled, for example, let's see, I should be able to pull them up. Talib Kweli. So you can see, for example, this is an account that has been labeled as misogynoir, and I have my personal settings set to hide the posts that are labeled misogynoir. And so you can see that it's clearly labeled by us. And these are decisions that are made by our moderators. So this is how we can kind of protect the community against various different harms. We could label accounts, and we could also, we also have a shared block list called the green list that we operate. And then for users who want to sign up, they could create an account, and their account will be hosted by Blacksky Algorithms. And so you'll still be able to, so the important thing is like you could use our app, the Blacksky.community app, you could use our feeds, you could have your data hosted by us, and you can still interact with all these other users on the BlueSky app.
That's cool.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so that's the kind of power of decentralized social media. I'll stop sharing now. But the ability to have our own terms of service, have our own privacy policies, have our own moderation decisions, have our own client, and then be able to develop that. And people who are hosted by us can use our service. People who want to be hosted by us can migrate over. If you no longer like our stuff, you can keep moving, but you never lose your followers. That's why I was like, it was pretty. One of these apps that got launched called Skylight or Spark Social. Spark Social. So Spark Social and Skylight are both TikTok alternatives. And so one of the Blacksky community members, they saw that news and they were like, is it going to be Black Spark? Are you going to like start Black Spark over there? And I was like, no, like it's just still Blacksky. Like you're still a part of the same community. All the connections remain, the followers remain, the community layer that we've built remains. And like to this, like you can pull up flashes and see, you know, on my laptops, they have it's an iOS app, but you could pull up flashes and you'll see the Blacksky feed over there too. And that's the power of like, but it'll just be images. And so that's the power of, yeah, the cool things you can do with decentralized social media. I think there's like, usually the pitch that people make is, it's bad to let someone like Elon or Zuckerberg get all this power, accumulate all this power, which is true, right? It's like, you know, Zuckerberg's a billionaire, and then half of the world uses Facebook, like literally they have 4 billion users or something. Some people in some parts of the world, they think the internet is Facebook. Like it's just because that's the means that they get access to the internet. And then now you see that they used to be very left leaning, or they sometimes pretend to be like neutral, but then now they're all at Trump's inauguration, and there's like, so it becomes like there's that kind of concern that this consolidation of power and the ability, and we've all seen like, you know, the issues of social media leading to or promoting genocide or promoting election interference and stuff like that. Like when there's just one company that controls all of that, those harms happen. And so decentralized social media, I think, came out of that, because now you can like have different providers who, you know, maybe there's someone, you know, maybe if Facebook was decentralized, there could have been like someone from Myanmar who was running their own moderation service that would have labeled posts as genocidal, for example. But yeah, when there's just one centralized, you can't really do that. The pitch I try to go with is that like you also get these cool things that like you can start Blacksky, you can start, for us, like all this stuff that we built, we also run stuff that's like maybe not worth showing as much, but like all this infrastructure that if Blue Sky goes away, Black Sky would continue, and we'd still have all this like robust infrastructure that's storing millions of users' data. Like we store the Black Sky users' data, but we also store every day all 36 million users on Blue Sky's data as well on our servers. That way, if Blue Sky were to go down, we could still operate off of the data set that we have. And other people too, like it's an open service that people can tune into and subscribe to. But I really try to promote the idea that we can create joy and new kinds of what they say, delightful experiences, right? Like you can, whenever I go to a new social media app, I look for the Black content. And now like people who come to Blue Sky, they can just find that. They don't have to tune their algorithm or anything. They can just jump into community. You can see people like making connections and meeting people offline. I think those are the cool possibilities you get.
That's dope. I'm about to sign up. I'm not being rude. I'm signing up.
Okay. I hear this and I think about you as a company, Blacksky Algorithms is finding a way to make social community safer, right? For people in our community, for Black and Brown people. What do you feel like if you had to give your elevator pitch at a cookout to your grandmother, right? How would you help them understand that what you're building is for us and it's unique and uniquely built in a way that most other companies won't build?
Yeah, I think the cool thing, well, I just said, I think the cool thing about Black Sky is like my mom uses it. And so like, I feel like that's kind of like the mom test for real. It's like it's simple enough for her to use. But I would say it's like we've seeded social media platforms to these folks that don't have our interests at heart. But like we had Ebony magazine, Jet magazine, we have BT. We know it's important for us to be able to have our own media channels to tell our stories. So this is just another aspect of that. It's a social media channel to tell our own stories, and so that we can really be in community with each other. But also, an important thing that's different from other platforms is that like you also don't, because what I've known to be true about folks is people don't want to. Like if Black folks in America wanted to be segregated, they would have done it already. Like there is a desire to be within our own community and also be in community with broader sets of people. And so I think the other aspect is that like you don't have to be the ideal is that you're not in a separate app that's like just for Black people. Like we're building some things to like for folks who really, really want that sometimes. Because I think you sometimes want that for certain conversations. But the cool thing is that you don't have to choose. You could just tune into the Black Sky feeds when you want to. And then the Black Sky moderation service is just always protecting you, because you shouldn't have to be subjected to racism when you open an app. Like you shouldn't have to be subjected to white supremacy when you open an app. So we just give you a heads up and a warning about that. So I think that's kind of my elevator pitch. It's like usually folks really understand that we want and need our own media channels. And this is just doing the same thing, but in an app form. And it's not like, and there's no ads, like, and there's no like reason for you to be disconnected. Like it's just pure community connection. And yeah, without the harms of white supremacy.
Love it.
Today in 2025, when you think about, because you're glowing right now, you're shining. Like when you think about what makes you proud about this app, like what is that?
I think it's like all that we built with like no venture capital funding, right? Like I think there's other apps, who also target a Black audience, and they raised millions and millions and millions of dollars and still don't have as many users as we have. And so like, it makes me proud of what we were able to do in like a grassroots level. And we did it open source, and we gave away Black Sky from the beginning. And there are other Black Skies now. People have started Black Sky Gaming, Black Sky Books, Black Sky Gardening. It's like, there's no like trademark on that. Like, that's what I want. I want more social media apps. And we've inspired people. There's folks who are trying to build Black Sky for the LGBT community. That's like called North Sky. And like, there's folks who reached out. Folks started Latin Sky. Folks are reaching out. They want to help. They want to figure out how to make Arab Sky. Like, the fact that people are that not only did we create a good thing for our community, but that it's like the message behind it has gotten out of mutualism, mutual aid, being in accountable to your community, living in like reciprocity, like all those things are the things that I really preach. And so even if even if my little anti-capitalist anarchist visions like for Black Sky don't work out, there's been so many people who've it's validated professors' thoughts. It's, you know, like students reach out to me like, hey, can you come speak at this joint? Like that is what makes me proud.
Okay, well, now that we're thinking about that, can you think about if you went back and you talked to little Rudy in New York in 7th grade, 8th grade, what would you tell him about the future or this moment?
I would tell him that I mean, I think about that. I think about that a lot, actually. I would tell him that like to like stay strong, that like things will work itself out, that like that I tell all my the younger folks around me that like life is long. People say life is short all the time, and I get why, to like make sure that you don't stay stagnant, like you know like you don't stay in one place for too long. But I tell the folks around me that life is long because sometimes folks feel like the current situations will be forever for them. And I feel like I've lived so many different lives. And so that's what I tell Little Rudy, that there's like there's a lot of life ahead of you. And there's lots of different people who will come in and out of your life and connections that you'll make. And then you will find new communities and bigger communities and really find out really like the real meaning of like real love. You feel me? Like familial love, love for your friends, love for your neighborhood, romantic love. Like those are all the things that I would tell little Rudy. If it's a tech thing, I would tell him that like, you know what I mean, don't let nobody tell you that you aren't who you are. You know what I mean? Like, cause that was really a lot of like the mentality I had to gain. It was like, you know, and also do things that are fun. Like play is the way that I learn. I don't like when work feels like work. I like when work feels like play. And yeah, so play.
You gonna have to teach me that. You gonna have to show me how you do that one. I don't have that. I don't have that skill.
All right, launch is coming up. We wanted to make sure we got a chance to talk to you before launch. So when you think about the headspace that you're in as you prep for launch, what can you walk us through what you're feeling?
As I prep for launch, I'm the downside to not having as many resources is like, you know, when I stress over all the details of things, like terms of, like I literally made a post last night of like, hey y'all, like how do y'all feel about if we just use the same privacy policy in terms of service as BlueSky? And folks responded back kind of jokingly. It was like, did we read those, Rudy? Like, no, so it's probably fine. But it's like that is something that I think about. But like, you know, but we don't have like legal like support, and so you just got to figure a lot of that stuff out. So things like that make me nervous. We'll be hosting people's data for the first time, and so obviously, like the thing that I learned with Black Sky is like whatever. You always want to like, I just want to do like harm reduction kind of stuff, you know, because like, for example, like I've built a lot of some of the stuff that Black Sky is known for creating an inclusive environment. Like we have this feature called Banned from TV. And so by default, all the feeds on BlueSky are public. But one of the things we built is that if you're a known bad actor, we could ban you from even viewing the feed from your account. The same way people have built, you know, intuitively how you'd expect, like if you have an algorithmic feed, right? You go on Instagram or something, it knows it's you, and so it tries to recommend things that you would like. So on the flip side, we like know it's you, and we know you're a bad person, so we stop you from viewing the feed.
That's interesting.
We don't like personalize it. We use it as a safety measure. But that was something I knew that we were gonna need. Like, so I launched Black Sky in May. I knew we would need it in like by June, and in July, like a situation happened that I had to like deploy it. And so I deployed it, and like, you know, that's been like a popular thing for people. But so thinking in a harm reduction lens is like always my mentality. And so I'm just like thinking like, okay, like what are the things that would come from this? Obviously bad actors signing up, uploading CSAM, like child sexual assault material, stuff like that. Like those, I always tell folks like we did, there's different kinds of moderation. We were always doing community moderation, but then there's curation as moderation. Like, what do you show to people? Like, there's all these posts, but which do you pick out to show to people? And then there's platform moderation, and that's what most social media companies do. It's like insurance for them. Like, you have to respond to the feds if they're like, we have an investigation. Like, what do you know about this person? Like, stuff like that. We didn't have to do that before, so now we will have to do that. So mentally preparing for the things that would come from having to do platform moderation. Also, like again, like Blacksky has been attacked so much from the very beginning. I've been doxxed by white supremacists like on my birthday, and so like I know that any form of power building that we do could make us a target for things, and so even a DDoS, like BlueSky themselves, they get DDoSed all the time. So being prepared from that lens is all the stuff on my mind. I'm trying not to focus on all the bad things that could happen. I also want to focus on the positive reaction we got. We did a fundraiser. There's all these people who are super excited about the app being launched. But like my job as the CEO is to like solve the weird problems that no one else is going to solve. And so I have that. I balance both in my head leading up to the launch.
Wow. So do you have a date in mind yet?
I'm working on CP time for this app launch. Like
Okay, period.
It was been supposed to launch, but probably like end of July, looking like.
Okay. Oh, okay. Quick then.
Okay, gotcha. I think I saw something about the ability to contribute. Can anybody contribute to Blacksky?
Yeah, we use the Open Collective platform. It's what I use with a lot of my mutual aid organizing, and so it lets you see transparently how much money we've been given and how we use the money. So you'll see that we use it for either servers or developers or the moderators who get paid to do the moderation work. And so anyone can contribute at opencollective.com/blacksky. And we also have the support us link on our website, blackskyweb.xyz.
Okay.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Oh, we're at time? Do you have more questions before I say we're at time? Because we are at time, but do you have more questions?
I do. Okay. You're getting ready for your last TED Talk or your last interview years from now. What would you want to say in that talk, even if it might make people uncomfortable?
Hold on. I got a question. Why is it his last one? Like, what's wrong
He
with
don't
him?
plan on retiring at some point?
What's wrong with him? Why can't he ever talk again?
He can't. Y'all want to retire? I'm saying, like.
Honestly, after years in the tech industry, I already want to retire.
At some point, sit down. Set yourself down.
Yeah. This is actually a really great question. The thing is, like, I feel like there aren't even too many uncomfortable truths left. Like, people know that, like, America is controlled by systemic racism. Like, people know the tech industry is also super racist. Who knows what the tech industry will be like at that point when I retire? Because, that would be like maybe 30 years from now, and it's changed so much. I would hope that the tech industry will have changed for the positive towards the end. And the thing that I would tell folks is that I would say technology is not neutral. That would probably be like one of my last things. I feel like, I would probably say something about mutual aid because that's my whole shtick. Like, I want people to live in community with each other and like help each other and meet their needs. I think that's way better than any government can do for you. Like, talk to your neighbors. So I'd say talk to your neighbors. I doubt racism is ending in 30 years, so I'll probably remind folks that, like, America, like, black folks in particular, like, America does not love you. And probably most countries in the world don't. And so we got to be in community with each other as a part of that. And then I would say tech is not neutral. Like, you don't just, like, build an AI that's, like, not neutral. Like,
Facts.
Someone is benefiting from it, someone designed it, someone is in control of it. And so those people's interests are what it's in favor of. And that is very likely, depending, especially if it's like rich white people, then it's very unlikely that it's going to be beneficial for other people. Like the idea of a LLM, for example, is like great, but like we need to, so I would like to see people like designing LLMs that are not like OpenAI. Yeah, I mean, so I would say tech is not neutral. Yeah, I mean, always keep that in mind.
Facts.
Awesome. I'm good to go. Thank you, Rudy.
Thank you.
Thank you. Yeah, no, seriously, thank you. Endless gratitude. This was an amazing talk. I learned a lot. And like I said, I'm going to sign up, but I forgot I don't have a BlueSky account anymore. So I got to start from the bottom.
You deleted your account or what?
I did. I deleted it because I was like not using it ever. And I was like, I'm a cybersecurity person. I don't need to forget about this account. And then, it get hacked or something. But yes,
Fair.
Endless gratitude. We know you're a busy man. So seriously, thank you so much for sharing your time and your energy with us. We appreciate you.
Thank you.
Rudy, for our listeners who are interested in learning more about you and also about Blacksky Algorithms, how can they reach you to get in contact?
Yeah, you can find me on BlueSky at rudyfraser.com. If you put rudyfraser.com in the browser, it will redirect you to my BlueSky profile. And you can learn more about Blacksky going to the website, blackskyweb.xyz. Not sure when this is going to come out, but we're going to have like we're also doing like a website relaunch, rebrand. It's a lot of motion going on right now, but yeah, you can always find us there, blackskyweb.xyz. And then on LinkedIn, I'm also on LinkedIn. I'll be posting, I post the highlight reels over there for when there's like articles and whatnot going on. Yeah.
Do y'all have merch? You got t-shirts, hoodies?
Not yet. I'm so excited about this. I'm getting the designers like, when is the logo gonna be ready? Then that's the next thing. After the website, we got some swag, got some stickers, such and such. I'll hook y'all up. Dang. If you so choose.
I mean, I was gonna say I need it now, but all right, cool. Looking forward to it. But yeah,
Also
all right.
on CP time.
Also, yeah, okay. So 2027, got it.
Thank you again, Rudy, and to everyone else who is listening to the Stats on Stats podcast today. Thank you so much. We're glad that you're here, and guess we'll see you next time.
Stay wavy. Sign up for Blacksky. There you go.